Yo! Oogla boogla! That was funny. Somebody said, what does that mean? Somebody said, hey, what does oogla boogla mean? And what it means is when you're doing EVP readings, that's what you hear. And, you know, that stuff's complete bogus. Completely bogus, all right? Oogla boogla! Oh, God, I think it said, you know, that's where that came from. So... yeah. I got the... Mabel, I don't know if it's Mabel or Mabel or how do you pronounce it, but she got her mug. I got the picture loaded up in there. Those are pretty cool looking, the Oogla Boogla ones. I like the font. Yeah. Alright, so before we get started, I want to mention that Prisma Reyes, they actually have a GoFundMe to help search for her. You know, to pay for, you know, whatever the hell, I think like a private investigator, that kind of thing. And that, the GoFundMe is called Raising Money. I mean, it's about as specific as you could possibly get. Raising money to help find Prisma Peralta Reyes. All right. And the link is in the description of this video. All right, so this is what it. Let me get the different screen on so you can see what it looks like. Oh shoot! So it looks like I'm only going to have this left and middle screens right now. So there you go. And look at that. The 3 people so far to donate are me, John Crimes, and John Lorden. I think Lorden was first, and then Crimes and me. So there you go, everybody. If you could all participate in there. And I don't know how long it would take, but at least we can get started on it. It seems like something nefarious has happened based on the new information. So John Lorden did his show, and then while he was doing the research, he stumbled across on WebSleuths. I think I should use WebSleuths a little bit more. All right? And my donation is from us as well, you know. Every time I contribute, it comes out of funds that were raised on my channel, and we also donate on the first of the month to a charity. And we've given to, let's see, Texas EquiSearch quite a few times, and I think that's actually who they're trying to get to help out there. So what I did was I actually went onto WebSleuths and found every single comment that Winter63.tx, Winter63 made on WebSleuths. And then some of them are just kind of repetitive things and saying, hey, we put a poster up and that kind of thing. But they're all here. I'll just go through them all, and then we'll put new pieces of the puzzle together. All right? But before we get started, I think what I'll do is I'll show the last known video of Reyes. Okay, so let me get this. I got to get a different window on. There we go. And there is a small version of me down here in the bottom. So what I did, these clips here, I actually put some filters on. You know, get a little better lighting. This first one is just the natural one, so there's no filter at all. So here you go. This is her walking. I don't think she looks like she's angry. When I see this, it looks like she even has a smirk on her face sometimes, kind of laughing. Looks like she's just kind of shooting the breeze. You know, but she does look, to me, as we said a long time ago, that she looks like she's kind of intoxicated in some way. You know, like when she walks, she, like, especially like that stagger early on. I think it was like right around in here, like when she's walking. Like, watch. Like, ooh, you know, when that leg crosses in front of the other. Yeah. Yeah, maybe tipsy, but could be on a drug of some sort, based on what is said later. I don't really need to have my face on there. Yeah. Wait, is it transition? Just, wow, it just does it automatically. There's no transition. I wonder why it's doing that. Hold on, let me fix. Oh, fade. There you go. No, that didn't work either. That's interesting. I'm trying to figure out my... It usually does like a smooth cross dissolve or something like that, but it's not doing that. Interesting. It's always something new to deal with in the tech world, right? So I'll make it as big as possible for you guys. Alright. So right in here it looks like, right there you can even see kind of a smirk on her face. Like she kind of chuckled at something. I don't really see her like going, oh my god, she's really angry. You know, some people say, oh, this is what she looks like when she's mad. I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. Okay, and then she curls around that pillar there. Now here's a different filter put on it. Got a little different shading and coloring. Maybe you can make out her facial expressions a little better. So the difference is this. It's a little bit more muted in this one. And this one's a little brighter colors. Right? Yep, and it looks like right there she's just hanging up the phone and just kind of, yep, all right, you know, heading out. And there's another one. A little different shading. I don't know, I think she's just walking that way because she's had something to drink or something. But you'll see right there, she's got like a little smirk on her face. Right? I mean, I just really don't see anything. The next clip, as I play it again, it zooms right in on there. Yeah, this is a parking garage. I'll show you in a minute where this was. Okay, looks like we're reconnected now. Are we back on, or did it stop it? No, it looks pretty good now. Looks like good stream health. Okay, good. I'm not sure what happened there, but got disconnected for a second. But maybe, God, I'm trying to... Yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure what's going on with the transitions. I'm going to have to get that fixed. But here is the final one. So this is back to the original color again, but then I zoom in right on her face. And I think you can see that she doesn't look like she's stressed out. I mean, look at the way she's even holding the lanyard, and she's just, you know, seems like she's just kind of buzzed in some way. Or on a drug, perhaps. See, like look at right there. She's kind of smiley. See, she kind of laughed at something right there. See, kind of a little smirk. Like, okay, all right, see you later. And then she hangs up the phone and then just kind of curls out around the corner there. You know, kind of feeling like right there she kind of let out, looked like that air, like you go, you know, like she's just not feeling that great right at that moment. Oh, I got like 7,000 windows open. Maybe that doesn't help at all. Well, maybe not 7,000. All right. I don't want to get questioned later on Reddit. Did you hear Gray? He said he had 7,000 windows open. But the thing is Windows only allows 27 windows open. Did you hear that, everybody? He said he had 7,000. That's the kind of shit they do on Reddit. You know, they nitpick on every little thing that you might say. All right. There's a couple things, too, that I figured out today myself. First of all, they have this image of her Jeep at 5:47. Okay? I don't know if you can see that or not, but are we... What's going on? Oh, you've still got that other window. Hold on one second. Let me get the... All right. And let me load this one up. Man, it's not having my 3 windows open kind of sucks. So this is actually a picture they're saying of her Jeep. And it was parked outside, not in the garage, like 3 articles that I read said that it was parked in the garage. We originally thought it was parked out on the street. But then all of a sudden these articles come up that said, oh, the car was parked in the garage. Right? So this is at 5:47. And when you look at that, you kind of wonder where the hell she was parking. But I actually figured it out. Look at this. So, I mean, I know this is probably overboard, you know, but this literally... I figured out exactly where it was. Okay, so I took a 3D Jeep, brought it in after the fact. But as you can see this video, this part right up here was from a walkthrough video that we're watching right now. This is the video of the car, and then this is street view right here. And you can see all of the elements. There's the pole right there from the stop sign. Then there's this little slanted part right there where the sidewalk goes down. Then there's a little plate in front on the ground right there that you can see just the corner of right there, and you can see the plate right there. This is the walkthrough video. This is the surveillance shot. And then there's also, in the background, there's these 2 little yellow cones that you can see on an island sort of in this parking area, way back there. Okay, and you can see them actually up here. They're just sort of these little gray things. Now, you might say, well, how come the island's peering out on the left when it's actually right of the pole here? It's because the camera is... I can't stop on Street View in the correct location. When you go left, it goes about 30 feet, and really what you want to do is go in between this pole and the stop sign here. Then that island will appear on the left-hand side, and then directly behind it is the gate that goes into the parking garage. All right, so just to show you what that looks like, I was doing that other case earlier, so let me go to Reyes. Right there. All right, so if you go down the street view right here, it's pretty crazy where she parked, so it kind of speaks to that she's intoxicated in some way. So that surveillance camera is filming out through one of these gates right here, probably that one. Okay, man, this one almost works right here, but it's in between shots, you know. So you can only go to there, and you can only go to here, right? That's the problem. However, you can see it right there. Well, actually, hell, I can go down this street. And this is a different time. So this is July 2018, right? And here's what's incredible. Look at this. Watch this. This right here, this is from April 2019, the same month that she went missing. That's insane. I mean, so what we're looking at right here on Street View is an image within just 2 weeks or so of when she went missing. It could even be, I mean, they don't give you the specific day. It could be within a day, right? So back there are these two cones, and her car was parked right here, blocking this road right there. She just pulled up, parked, and then almost immediately, within a minute, was in there. Okay, so let's look back, look at the, take a look at that shot again. So that's 17:47:05. And then I'll just slide this over my Adobe Premiere so we don't have to go through that again. No, that's not Adobe Premiere. That's OBS. This is Adobe. Oh, man. Where the hell is it? Yeah, it's weird. It's not when the Adobe Premiere won't open all of a sudden. It won't pop back up on the screen. See, something weird's going on. What it is, I don't know. Yeah, hackers. That's right. Like I can see something popping up over on the left. And I don't want to close it without saving it, so that's kind of a nightmare right there. Oh yeah, good. Boom. It asked me if I wanted to save it. And now I'm going to open it up again. That was a miracle because I couldn't open it. I just right-clicked down on the Windows tray and said close, and it said, hey, do you want to save it? So good. There we go. Now it'll open up just totally fine. There we go. All right. So let's go back to this. Now look at this. So this is 17:49:52. Almost all surveillance cameras, if you paid attention in the Kanika Jenkins case, are set to system time, not the specific camera time, because that would be ludicrous, right? Let's say you had 20 surveillance cameras, and do you think people would want to go around and make sure with a little watch in their hand, go, oh yeah, let me reset the camera, let me reset this one, oh yeah, ooh, they're all the same. You know, how would you know that they were all exactly the same? You'd have to sit there and like go 3, 2, 1, okay, set it, you know, like that. So nobody does that. They sync their surveillance cameras to system time, right? So we can be pretty sure that this 17:49:52 here is correlated with this. So this is 17:47:05. So that's probably her right here. You know what I think? I think that's her pulling up, and it looks like maybe that's her shoulder right there. It actually, you can see the slightest hint of a red hue on there, and then she's turning to the right, kind of looking at something to grab off of the passenger seat. You know, maybe her phone, something like that, right? So that's what I'm seeing when I look at this. Then she just bolts out of her car, and then a minute and 47 seconds later, you see her right here on this surveillance camera. I mean, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. All right, so 2 minutes and 47 seconds later, you see her right here on the surveillance camera. All right, so we have all of that, and we know this now. So you know that right now, as she's standing in front of this elevator, that outside on the street is her Jeep blocking that side road right there. Now, people say they found her car a block away. So is it possible then that she got back in her car and then drove a little bit and then got out of her car? Because we're looking at this, 1749:52, and then there's a series of phone calls she makes after this that are documented, and people have been interviewed that were on those calls. Okay, so now let's get to the document that is all Winter 63 comments on WebSleuths. I don't go there very much, so it doesn't pop into my mind. But I think I might start going there. I like their little verified insider denotation. Because then you can really... Like, I remember I actually went through the whole thread and I saw her commenting and her saying, yeah, I'm a family member, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the mods said, would you like to be a verified insider? And then maybe there's something that they have to do to be verified. I don't know. But then after that, she became verified and then started commenting more. People started asking her questions and that kind of thing. And if you'd like to help support my channel, you can do so with super chats, or I think PayPal and what's the other one? Streamlabs, and also Patreon, which is great because that's a fixed number that it can either increase or decrease if people leave you, but it's something you can count on each month. So anyways, I would really appreciate it. Because on this channel, a lot of times we go over the cases that most people don't go over, and we cover them and we keep following them. This is one that we've gone over a few different times, but I didn't realize that on WebSleuths that there was actually some pretty good new information. And I don't know if it's probably a couple weeks old. Yeah, I don't know how they would verify. What do they do, call up or something? All right. So I'm just going to read these on the side over here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll loop this surveillance footage here, or just play it anyways. The stepdad, Dan Fuchs, as she has always called him, she always called him the stepdad, is putting up an electronic billboard in the area she came up missing, along with a reward for her safe return. And then she says, well, the family hasn't given up. These are just comments. And she's usually answering a question, but I didn't include the question. Because some of them, the comments she's made are kind of self-explanatory. Prisma would not abandon her son. He was and is her world. That little boy is her life and has been since the day he was born. All right, let me move this over to this screen here. There we go. And then somebody said something about, I bet the cops know way more. And then she said, you're right on that. They keep a lot of things from the public while they build their case. And then she said, yes, I know the family very well. We are all asking for prayers, and we have not given up hope that she will be found safe. And around this time is when she was asked to be a verified insider. Yes, her movements are that way. So she said right here about the movements that Reyes has on the screen. She said they are that way when she's distressed, upset, and very mad, but she changes her mind later. I think it's pretty obvious that she's kind of staggering around. Hey, thank you, Bush and Beach Lifestyle. Weehoo! Caught a holy gray alive.
We www caught a Holy Grail live.
Thank you. Let's see. And then I did add a question. Well, actually, she asked everybody else a question. Can you all answer something? We have been confused as to where exactly the video of her phone was, or on her phone was, her apartment or that of her ex. On one station, it says her apartment. Another, hey, thanks, Cairo Al Kadir.
Be the same without you. Keep it up.
Hey, thank you. You wouldn't know it by some of the comments that some people leave on there. The trolls, Cairo, on there. But people always back them up with nice comments, so that's good. But it looks like she said on one station it says her apartment, another the ex's apartment building. We know where her Jeep was found, which she would never abandon like that. And we all know detectives can be evasive when they are working on cases. They are not telling the family too much, only that they are working on it, which is why her dad is putting up the electronic billboard, and the reward for her Channel 8 is going to be filming it sometime tomorrow as the billboard starts at midnight tonight. The media has been showing it and interviewing when she first disappeared, but a lot said if no new developments in case it might take a while for updates. Hopefully something develops so it can't hit the airwaves again. That is why her dad put up a billboard on Peak Street at I-30 that started airing her picture at midnight last night. Channel 8 is supposed to go film the billboard and announce the reward for information and the safe return of Prisma. Now she's talking about her ex. Her ex lived in the apartment building close to where her Jeep was found. So wouldn't that just mean the one right outside? Yeah, the one that she's in, because her vehicle is right across the street from an apartment building, and apparently her boyfriend lives either in this building or one right next to it, but I don't know if there's another apartment building right around. So her ex lived in the apartment building close to where her Jeep was found. She had her own apartment in the Dallas area. I think everyone is confused, including family. Detectives are not saying much at all. We are confused to the fact her missing was released to the public so soon after she was reported missing by the babysitter. Usually a missing person is released to the public 24 to 48 hours later, not as soon as it was. We are inclined to believe there was a 911 hang-up call is why they started looking for her so soon. That's interesting. And then she's answering a question about the boyfriend. They dated about 2.5 years ago. It ended with domestic violence. Okay, so there's some interesting stuff right there. The boyfriend, there was domestic violence, and I think she filed charges. Hey, thank you, Sam the Schnoz. And you did one earlier when there was pre-show chat, so thanks for that one too. I'll be watching your Warriors tomorrow.
Thank you, Freak Family. We appreciate you all. Heart.
Yeah. It says, I went to her Facebook page with news where the sperm donor. So there's a person that's the father of of her child, I guess. Do you guys know how many children she has? I don't remember that now. Does she have just one, or does she have two? Or more than that? Maybe 3? I went to her Facebook page with the news where the sperm donor says he's her ex-husband. Only problem with that is she has never been married, and he kicked her out when she was 6 months pregnant. Okay, so there's a father of her child, but he's never been part of the child's life, but now is, pretending, oh, yes, I'm so interested. Okay? We believe he just wants attention now that Prisma is missing. All right. Prisma's biological father died when she was a baby. Her stepdad is the one who has raised her since she was a little girl. That is the one who she calls dad and considers him her father. And Prisma is his daughter and will always be treated like his daughter, which is why he is fighting to find her. He has a billboard on Peak Street at I-30, and I mean, I heard a lot of people questioning the father early on. You know, like, oh, God, look at that guy. He looks dodgy. And I always hate that crap. You know? It's just, how about, like, he's the father, okay? Can you at least wait until there's even the slightest hint that he has something to do with anything before you just start throwing that crap out right off the bat? And then somebody asked, were charges filed against the ex-boyfriend? I suppose charges weren't filed because if I have the right person that lives at the Olympus Apartments, they do have a dismissed domestic violence charge, but that is from 2013. And it was dismissed in 2014, but nothing from 2.5 years ago. Okay, so maybe that's something different. Charges were filed. Prisma dropped charges, and they were picked up again. Yes, her dad is taking it hard. He's trying to do everything he can to find her, putting up a second billboard on Lake June Road, 10 minutes from where she disappeared. He's contacted Crime Stoppers, going to post on Facebook, Marketplace, etc. It will be 2 weeks tomorrow, but he is not giving up that she's alive and safe. Yeah, so I'm going to keep looping this around here. Oh, wait, I think I can just hit this, right? There we go. Okay, this chair I got to get rid of. It's so loud. Okay, I bought it because I thought it was going to be comfortable. It's not even that comfortable, and it's loud. They are not telling us too much of anything, keeping a closed lip on this case. We keep asking, but no answers. They haven't determined that, or at least not that we know. I'm just reading how it is, okay? I don't know where to put the commas and everything. I'm just reading it. I cut and pasted this. Determined that, or at least not that we know where her phone was pinged. It's been dead for almost 2 weeks now. No credit card activity, bank accounts. It's like she disappeared off the face of the earth. Her phone has not been on since she disappeared. The detective told the family she ate at a Tex-Mex restaurant when she left from lunch, or left for lunch is what she probably meant to say. So far, that is all that's been said. Her dad did an interview over Facebook Messenger Live earlier on Telemundo 39. I think that's it. Sorry, getting ready for inventory at work, so really busy with everything going on. Okay, let's see. So Tex-Mex. I think there's one close to here, actually. So let's see. Nearest Tex-Mex. No, let's see. How about Tex-Mex? I think it was called something else, actually. Well, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so I think it's this one. E-Bar Tex-Mex. That was on John Lorden's show right there. From the same notes. So let me change that to E-Bar Tex-Mex. All right, so look at that. That's not far away at all. In fact, I mean, we'll get exactly how far it is by taking this and then starting right here, and then even just going like this and like this, and then going right to the elevator, right where her car was parked, and then measurement. It's only 0.37 miles. You know, I heard people saying, wow, it's like a mile. But no, at 0.37. It's very, very close. So that's where she had her lunch. Okay, but there's a hell of a lot more information that went on at that bar. Okay, so I don't know where it is in these notes, but it's coming up. All right. All right, so back to the notes. Her dad seems to think there was a 911 hang-up, and when 911 tried calling back, no one answered. Feels like someone has her. We all think the same. Something triggered them to search for her so soon. Usually a missing person is 24 to 40. Yeah, she already said that. Let's see. Hopefully the detectives got the video of her there. Prisma usually only drank on a weekend. So they're talking, when she says the video of her there, I think she's talking about at the Tex-Mex restaurant. So it was E-Bar, Tex-Mex, Mesquite, not too far from the apartments. That's what she wrote. She was with her ex-boyfriend at the, listen to this though, everybody. So here we go. This is stuff that we were kind of wondering about. She was with her ex-boyfriend at the restaurant. Her mother and friend went there to get some info and found out some things. There was a police call to that restaurant for a disturbance between Prisma and her ex, although he didn't go by the name anyone knows him as. Did she leave the restaurant with the ex? Somebody asked. We are not sure about that, only that police were called to break up a disturbance between them. Right. Yeah, I was telling you guys last night that you should that Lorden was going to do a video on this. He actually called me up and wanted to know if we had anything new, and we sort of just discussed what we had found doing the show, and then he incorporated some of that, and then he stumbled upon this insider right here, which has provided really kind of the most important information so far. I mean, you can sit there and analyze a surveillance tape 1,000 times, but the reality is having this kind of information is way more important. Hey, thank you, Miss Mula. Did I say that right? All right. She was with their ex-boyfriend at the restaurant. Her mother and friend went there to get some info and found out some things. There was a police call to that restaurant for a disturbance between Prisma and her ex, although he didn't go by the name everyone knows him as. Did she leave the restaurant with the ex? It was a question somebody asked on WebSleuths. We are not sure about that, only that the police were called to break up a disturbance between them. I am saying that we know... Let's see. Silent gift. Well, thanks. I am saying that we know him as Ryan, but at the restaurant, the bartender said he went by Matt. Well, how do they know for sure that that was the boyfriend then, I guess? Yes, the lunch was before the video at the apartment complex. Right, of course. You know, like, see, that's one of those questions that, like, one of those dumb reporters might ask. So was the lunch before the video? Yeah, because everybody has lunch at 5:48. Okay. Let's see. We only know him by his real name. Bartender said he went by Matt there. I also said he had sunglasses on and would not take them off. Huh, that's interesting. Got a message from detective that she had met her ex for lunch. He has been interviewed, and at this time they do not believe anyone they have talked to with is involved in her disappearance. It is still ongoing, and they will continue to work any leads, tips that come in. Her family believes that Matt is the one who may have done something to her or has her holed up somewhere. Yeah, I mean, the X does seem like... I mean, I agree with you there, Antonio. But there's also some other weird stuff later. Winner, let's see. Any bad fights with this guy in the past where she was physically injured? And she said, yes. He beat the crap out of her. And then, let's see. And then she said to somebody else, Father is the guy who lives somewhere down by Austin. Ryan, and I guess his name is Matt too. Ryan is the ex who beat the crap out of her, and the other is Tariq. Ryan, a.k.a. Matt, is the name he used at the restaurant where she met him, according to detectives. So they must have surveillance in the restaurant. They have Ryan on camera. However, he said his name was Matt, and then they were able to verify who he was using that surveillance. You'd think, anyways. Arturo is the POS father of her son. He's the one that's just now shown up and is now trying to get emergency custody. Isn't that a joke? Her lunch break was around 1 to 1:30 p.m. The video of her is timestamped at 5:50. They have cameras. The PI was there at the complex this morning. Texas EquiSearch will start looking for her tomorrow or Thursday. They are working on the little girl missing from Houston, right? And so they actually weren't able, at the time this was written, they weren't able to do it, quote, tomorrow. It was like a week later. I don't even know what the status is of that right now. They have cameras. Let's see. I think she may know two different people, or one maybe using a different name. Could be why the detectives are not saying much right now. Just know from her mother, Ryan has not shown up for work since she disappeared. Oh, that's interesting too. A little bit like Mike Wolf, right? That is why her dad has a PI also investigating. He can't remember Ryan's last name. Just that he was a mortgage broker before he got a DWI and domestic violence charge to his name. Her mom just told Prisma's dad that the bartender looked at a picture she had of Ryan, and she said that was who Prisma was with at Tex-Mex. Okay, so somebody must have asked Winter 63, how do you know that it really was Ryan? And so that might have been the answer right there. Okay. Yeah, the ex is either Ryan, but he said his name was Matt, apparently at the bar. We have been under the assumption that the Jeep was parked a block away also from what was put on the news. Okay, so they didn't see it. But now we see that image of the car just haphazardly parked, blocking. I mean, it's like partially in the road and then I guess if it was literally parked there and that was a sidewalk, that would have been pretty good. But she was blocking a road. It's crazy. So something was going on with her mentally at the time. And when I say that, I mean she was either really drunk or she was on a drug of some sort. We have been, it was sometime between 1 and 2, and her mom took a picture of Ryan, and the bartender, 1 and 2, and her mom took a picture of Ryan, and the bartender said that was, so when she says took, meaning she took it with her, and the bartender said that was the guy Prisma was with. She went outside to make a phone call, and Ryan, a.k.a. Matt, got mad, thinking she was talking, maybe she meant took a picture, like it with a camera. I don't really get this. So, 1 and 2, and her mom took a picture of Ryan, and the bartender said that was the guy Prisma was with. She went outside to make a phone call, and Ryan, a.k.a. Matt, got mad, thinking she was talking to someone else. They fought. Police were called. Okay, so she's talking about Prisma at this point. So this is the scenario, I guess. So it was said that was the guy. Prisma was with, and then he's saying that it sounds like Prisma went outside to make a phone call, and Ryan, a.k.a. Matt, got mad thinking she was talking to someone else. They fought. Police were called. They never showed up until 45 minutes later, according to the staff at the restaurant by the time they were gone. Okay. So that was hard to get through that paragraph, but I think I know what she's saying. It was between 1 and 2, and her mom took a picture of Ryan, and the bartender said that was the guy, all right, that Prisma was with. And then the bartender goes on to explain that Prisma went outside to make a phone call, and Ryan, a.k.a. Matt, got mad thinking she was talking to someone else. They fought. Police were called, but they never showed up until 45 minutes later. Like, he was really jealous, right? Okay, one of the last people Prisma spoke with before her disappearance was a friend she called asking for help. So here you go. Now we're getting some more interesting stuff here. One of the last people Prisma spoke with before her disappearance was a friend she called asking for help. She didn't feel right. When he asked where she was, she told him she didn't know. She just didn't feel right. This person said, it's a guy, and he was out of town, so he's totally cleared. He was just a friend that she called. All right? She didn't feel right. When he asked where she was, she told him she didn't know. She just didn't feel right. This person said she sounded very confused. We got her phone records and called the number. He told us exactly what he told detectives. He is not a suspect, as he was out of state the night of her disappearance. So there you go. What if she was drugged? You know, maybe the ex drugged her at some point. Or, you know, who knows? I mean, this is crazy right now, though, right? You know, maybe she stayed at the bar a little extra and the other guy left, and maybe somebody slipped her something and it sort of tracked her, knowing that eventually she'll get to a point where he can make a move. Yeah. Weird, huh? So, I mean, I think it's really valuable. I just went and got every single comment she made. I deleted some of the duplicates and things. And that was at 6 o'clock. She made another call at 6:01. So when you look at this video here, I'm going to go back here. Right there, it's 17:49. So at 18 and 18:01, which is, 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes later, she is still calling people, right? So after she makes that little turn around the pole there, she literally is still calling a lot of people. I guess she made up to 9 phone calls. All right, so here it goes. The elevator video where she was on her phone had a 5:50 timestamp. Yeah, I mean, it's close to that. And you mentioned a call. This is a question somebody asked her. Mentioned a call at 6 p.m. plus another one at 6:01. Were the first two one and the same call? Did she not know where she was when in front of the elevator? No, there were 2 calls at 6 and 6:01. The 6 was a call asking for help. If you look really close, she ended 6 calls. See, I don't know what that means. See, that's not really, I don't think so. She's off of this surveillance. She's out of this at 5:51. It wasn't 6 o'clock. Okay? So you can see her end a call at 5:51-ish, right? But you can't see her end a call at 6 because she's not on the camera at that time. All right, so I don't know if she's just kind of generalizing when she says 6. If you look really close, she ended the 6 o'clock call and started calling at 6:01, but you can't really see that. Okay, so I think that part's inaccurate. And that was her very last call at 6:01. The 6 o'clock call was asking a friend for help. She didn't feel right, was confused, and couldn't tell him where she was at. She had no idea where she was at. He told the detectives and the family she was very confused, that something wasn't right, and that was the last anyone has seen or heard from her. Her dad seems to think the 601 call to the ex was asking what he gave her. So that does make some sense. So the 601 call was to the ex, right? Apparently they know that. So he was, he thinks that she was calling him like, what did you give me? What did you give me? In the call record, she calls the last call numerous times over the afternoon, lasting about a minute each. So she just kept calling the number of the person she was fighting with at the bar. The POS has never met his son. Somebody asked again about the baby daddy that wasn't part of the child's life whatsoever. Oh, and then but right before that she said, the FBI has now joined in the case. Let me get that loop going again. Is there any new information being put into the chat at all? It's the timestamp on the Jeep is 5:47, about 2.5 minutes prior to this surveillance footage that you're watching right now. I'm just trying to figure out, like, people saying, oh, thank you, feds, thank you, this and this. But what are they saying? I don't see anything. I don't think she was drugged. Interesting, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you don't think she was drugged. All right. So the FBI has now joined the case. The POS has never met his son. He came back into the picture when Prisma came up missing. The detective has not ruled him out yet. That's all I can say on that. Well, what if she was actually trying to go get some child support from him? That's something we don't know about. And there you go. You might have that same scenario again. And notice how he pops right back up again. Now he's all interested to sort of throw people off the track. Wow, he was an otherwise caring dad if it wasn't that he was being kept away from his kid. See? You never know. Yeah, I mean, I actually read another, on my earlier video today, there's another case exactly the same. It's crazy. Let's see. Not sure about that. I don't know this. The sitter doesn't want to be involved in her disappearance any longer, avoiding Prisma's mom's calls, etc. Her phone records show that was the only day they talked that long. Oh, wait, let me read this part up here. Her phone records show no calls after 6:01 p.m. April 17th. Is the last day of her calls. That is the only record Sprint gave her mom. They wouldn't give her the text messages. Hopefully, by going through her old phone, they can access text messages and Messenger, Facebook, etc., which may help figure out what went on that day. As far as the babysitter she was on the phone with her for almost an hour, which doesn't add up to her telling police or media Prisma only told her she would be there on time to pick up her son. See, isn't that weird? The babysitter, now she sounds a little dodgy, right? Like, they talked for an hour. So for her to say, oh, she just said that she'd be on time. That sounds a little bit like when Bill Clinton went on the plane with, I can't remember what her name was, the Attorney General, and said, oh yeah, we just talked about wedding. Yeah, Lynch. Yeah, she was just saying, oh yeah, we were talking about weddings and all that kind of stuff. Right when your wife is being looked into, as they were hitting the cell phones with the hammers, right? Right, so that's what that sounds like. Yeah, oh yeah, we were just talking about this, right? You're making that crap up. No, you weren't talking about that she'd be on time. What did she do? Sit there and go, I'm going to be on time, 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 I'm going to be on time. For an hour? She just sat there and said that for an hour? Wow, that's amazing. I would have liked to hear that. We could have put a beat to it, like, gonna be on time, gonna be on... Yeah, let's see. There are only 3 cameras in that garage, one showing the video of her, another one pointing at a short driveway for parking with no exit, one at the far end of the garage by the other elevator, only one way in or out with vehicle. There are no cameras inside the apartment complex. Right. Come on, Manda Fanda, you love that. That was a good one. You should come on and beatbox, and then I'll do the beatbox, and I'll do the rap. Yeah. But there are plenty of people coming and going the whole time we were there. So they went to the garage just like we had that. One of the viewers, I actually can't remember her name right now for some reason. But if you're out there, thank you. I'll show some of those videos here in a little bit. All right. So the phone call was a call for help, according to her mother, who also spoke with the person after the detectives had already questioned this person by calling the number on the phone. So the mother got the number that was on the phone and then called the 6 o'clock person, and they also said she sounded really confused. Between 5:49 and 6:01, which was her last and final call, there were 9 calls. See, look at right here. See this right here? So this is call number 1 right here. Right? So this 5:49, that's when this starts. So I'm going to go back to the beginning here. Look at it. It's 5:49, almost 5:50, but still has a 49 in the front there. There was 9 calls total made. So right now she's on that first call. And then there was 8 more made after that. Her longest being 3 minutes to a number who has been cleared. To people that don't know her. Now, wouldn't it be interesting to talk to the person who talked for 3 minutes? Did that person also think they sounded disoriented? To people that don't know her, she doesn't look distressed, etc. See, that's what's funny, but earlier she said the exact opposite. At the very beginning up there, she said that Prisma was upset. Do you remember that? So, what do you mean you can't see? I'm not trying to show you anything. You're just watching the surveillance footage in a loop. Right, I don't think she looks distressed at all. I think she looks intoxicated. She might even feel pretty good, but confused. I mean, she's smiling and she's just kind of... But what's interesting is this Winter 63, the verified inside source, early on said that she's moving like that. She does that when she's distressed and upset. But then later down here says... to people that don't know her, she's she's corroborating what she said here. She said, to people that don't know her, she doesn't look distressed, etc. Like when we look at her, she looks normal, right? But to the family, she has the same actions that happens when she does get distressed, mad, and upset. So I don't know if we have to... I'm just sort of seeing with my own eyes that she's sort of smiling and just kind of relaxed, leaning against... Or do we need to defer in this situation to what the family's saying. I mean, I think we should kind of look at both. The smile shows you that she was mad. Well, everybody, don't look at Joshua's wedding pictures, because when he's smiling, or he's smiling on there, you have to look at him and go, God, he's pissed. So apparently Joshua was frowning on his wedding pictures, because that means he's happy. I'm just goofing around, Joshua. Right. Yes, a 3-minute one was second to last. See, that's where people go, Gray, you're so mean. Yeah. Yes, the 3-minute one was second to last. She called her ex 4 times before that one. All right, so right after this video that you're looking right here, when she goes around the pole there, the column, she calls her ex 4 times after that. Let's see. Yes. The 3-minute one was the second to last. She called her ex 4 times. Yeah, so the 6 o'clock one was 3 minutes long, and that was the friend that thought she sounded really disoriented and confused. The 6:01 was to her boyfriend again. But just prior to the 6 o'clock were 4 other times, and there were total of 4 numbers called, not lasting. Wait, hold on. Let me see. She called her ex 4 times before that one, the 3-minute one. Before that one, and once after. Right. That's exactly what I said. So she called her ex 5 times after this scene that you're looking at here. All right. And there were a total of 4 numbers called, not lasting but a minute or less, which is telling us she needed help and no one was answering but the second to last call. So that was the only one that she actually spoke to. All right. Hey, there's Kim's back. I'll have to make her a moderator again. She used to be here all the time. Maybe she'll come back. No, I don't know if we have the time she left the restaurant. All the sitter told police she would be there at usual time to pick up her son. So an hour-long call makes no sense to the family either, and since her disappearance, she is avoiding the family's phone calls. See, isn't that a little bit suspicious? Like, if you were the babysitter of a missing person and you had no nefarious involvement at all, would you literally not take calls from the family to help a little bit? Like, what was she saying? Is there any other thing she might have said? That kind of thing. All right. I don't know. I find that really strange. But keep in mind, all the stuff written here are words. They make sense, but they're from somebody who's on WebSleuths, and they are a, quote, verified insider. Okay? It sounds pretty reasonable, though. And the way she's talking, it seems natural. The way she's writing and stuff like that. So. Yes, the 3-minute one was the second to last. She called her ex 4 times. So she repeats things. I think she cuts and pastes from other spots after when somebody keeps asking the same thing over and over again. We do feel like someone is not telling the truth, but we feel the detectives need just one piece of the puzzle. It's almost always like that, actually, so to speak, to put it all together. When we were there the other day, There was numerous people coming and going along with all the traffic. So when she says there, she's saying the apartment. People walking their dogs, so someone has to have seen something or knows something. They may be scared to talk, but if you call in a tip, they don't ask your name. So anybody out there, if you got a tip, call it in. This is stressful for the family. First Prisma disappearance. Now there is a custody battle tomorrow over her little boy. The piece of crap sperm donor has filed for emergency custody of his son. Mind you, he has never had anything to do with him, nor paid support. But all of a sudden, he wants his son, since Prisma is no longer with us, according to him. We are not giving up hope. See, right now you've got like the ex, both exes and the babysitter seem a little dodgy, right? I mean, the ex seems like the most obvious, since she's apparently in his apartment and she keeps trying to call him over and over and over again. Right, and see, that's where I'm saying, had he signed the document making it legal for him not to have any custody, he wouldn't even have a chance to do this right now. So, bing! You get what I'm saying? Yeah, he'd have a document saying he gave up his rights. Her dad just started a GoFundMe account for him and Prisma's mother to pay for the lawyer, psychologist, and the judge ordered for her little boy so her mom doesn't lose custody. So that's a different GoFundMe. The one that I put in the description is for the search for her. We believe those phone calls were trying to reach out to anyone who could help her out, and possibly to one of the numbers. See, this is what they think. They think that out of all the calls she made, that they believe those phone calls were trying to reach out to anyone who could help her out, and possibly to one of the numbers what this person did to her. What this person gave her to make her act like she was in the video. The longest phone call, the number of that person was cleared, and they were out of state. Right. And then it says, yes, the 3-minute one was second to last. She called her ex 4 times before that one, and once after, and there were a total of 4 numbers called, not lasting. But I meant, see if she copied and pasted that again. That's the 3rd time she's written that same thing. So there you go. Those are basically all of the comments that she had. No, you don't got that right, Joshua. She was at a bar with the ex, a restaurant. The police were called to the restaurant because of something that they were doing. They were fighting or something. And apparently he got mad because she went outside and got on made a phone call, and he thought she was talking to some other guy or something. And then you see her car parked out in front of the building at 447 in a crazy location, which is right here. Okay, so I did this so I could illustrate this. I actually put this on WebSleuths too. This is Street View in the background here. I put a 3D car using Adobe. It's not the same kind of car, but it's another Jeep. And this is the walkthrough video that one of our Freak family people made for us. And then here is the surveillance footage of her Jeep parked. And using that, I was able to determine that her car was parked right here, blocking this side road back there. Okay, now all these things line up. These lines that I drew, everything matches perfectly. Okay, so I would feel confident going to court proving that this surveillance shot right there is right here. I would have no problem presenting this in court. This is absolutely it. You can even see slightly back in there the little gray hue. Oh, wow. Gray hue, huh? That's my name. It matches these cones that are right there. But it's these cameras have really crappy coloring and everything like that. And then right there is the stop sign. That was weird. I almost said my name, just literally saying it. Hues of Gray. I actually own that the domain that says HUES of Gray. So that is the spot. And look at what she's doing here. So let's just go to Street View here. All right. And, I'm kind of repeating this for people that have shown up later. She's right here. Her car is literally, like, she pulled up and is parked right here, blocking that road. And if you turn around, you can see these fences. And I don't know if these open up where they... Looks like they tilt up. Okay, I can see that one. So they tilt up. Now, if I go back to that picture of just the Jeep, see that? There's one of the gates right here. You can see here. Okay, now this could be where you're just looking at the edge of one. Like perhaps, right, the camera's back in there, and that's the edge. And as it goes up, there's some extra metal there. And then it films through, and it's a little bit more left. Like I can't really get into the right position. But if you could film from right here, then that island right there would be left of this pole. And it's obvious because you can see this pole would go to there, and it sticks out way more than that. All right. So let's see. Right. And she probably just pulled up there really quick, stumbled in there and was like, hey, where are you? Hey, she's trying to get a hold of her boyfriend, right? Because they had already spent time together. Here's what I bet. I bet they were at the bar, and then the ex-boyfriend just left after a while. And she sat there and probably kept having a couple drinks, and later she kept trying to call him or whatever, and they got really pissed off, drove over there, just parked the car willy-nilly, didn't care, got out of her car, walked right into the parking garage area there, and just started calling people, and then kept calling him over and over and over again. What do you think? I almost was selected for a small DUI death trial. Has anyone had experience? At the end of the show. Okay, Sam the Schnoz. Yes, because everyone's going to wait right until the end of the show and then tell you about it. Come on. Right. But it's strange, though, because she seems like, she does drink on the weekends. So the fact that when she's on the phone, she says she feels weird and things. And disoriented. I think there's something else going on here. I don't know, though. God, it's so... You got to admit, this is crazy, because her car is still sitting there. However, what if her car was parked a block away, she left, got into the car, and then something happened, and this is where somebody dumped her car. It seems more likely, though, that... Well, actually, we see her in the car on surveillance, right? Yeah. So, let's look at that again. So that doesn't make... I don't think that would work, actually. It doesn't make sense. See, look, I think that's actually her right there. I was thinking, well, maybe that's a chair, right? I mean, the car seat. But you wouldn't see it over there, because the car seats are back here. So I think that, and this kind of looks like her. Look, can you guys barely make out that red hue that's right there? It's just very, very, very small. Let me see if I can actually make that pop out more. Let me see what happens if... Alright, I'm going to just kind of goof around with this for a second and see what's going on here. The sad part is if you don't have the original, you lose basically a ton of stuff on there. So. That's what they do on the Kanika Jank. Oh, look at that! There's a guy right there. He's floating through the window, and you know, it's crazy. All right, like right there. I made it really high contrast. You see how it's a little pinkish? I mean, even that's like that, though, so I don't know. But I feel like that's her. What else would that be? And it's the right size and everything. And almost like, here's what it looks like. She's sitting in the driver's seat, but then bending over to get some stuff out of the passenger seat. Yeah. Well, at least I'm making you laugh there, Antonio. That's some of that stuff. So, I think this is her. The way I look at it, she was at the bar. She storms over here because she'd gotten in a fight with her ex. She's drunk, so she's just doing whatever the hell she wants, or really buzzed. She pulls up, parks here, blocks the street, gets out of her car, goes through that side door that was probably propped open. And then she stands in the right here and then starts trying to call around to people. You know, although, you know, to be honest, she doesn't look that frantic right here. But it looks like she's trying to get in somehow. Like, okay. So now let's go switch over to those videos that one of the viewers shot for us a while back.
Mom, don't get a dog.
So this is inside the hotel here. Let me get to a different one. Do you guys want to just watch these all the way through, or? I mean, some of this stuff's just panning around to nothingness, you know. Like, I'm gonna move it to this area here. A lot of construction going on. I just think it's so amazing that this shot right here is within a week, probably, of her going missing. April 2019, this shot right here. On Google Earth Street View. So in a minute here, we'll be able to show you exactly where she was on that surveillance footage. Okay, so I'm gonna get it moving here a little bit. Okay, we're getting close. That's that sign. That's the street she parked on right there, blocking right there. So Reyes' car was parked, blocking that street right there. What are you talking about, Josh? Damn, man. You gotta write a full sentence so people know what the hell you're talking about. I'm trying to get to the point where she goes into the parking garage. Okay, the rest of it's just walking around the building. Yeah, she's almost there. Well, you'll have to go catch up later there. Yeah, it's crazy. It's right behind this shot right here, though. But see how when she walked up there, there was something propping open the gate there? It's crazy. See, that's the visitor entry. And here is the... She probably just walked in like this. I mean, who knows? Well, I don't know if... Yeah, you mean that is something that I was wondering about too, Phoebe, as well. I brought that up with... I don't know who it was, but earlier I was talking to somebody. That maybe that was her turning around, then backing up and about to park. However, that's what people said, that her car was parked in an unusual way by the people who found it. So I think that might be how it was parked. However, her being still in the car there makes you kind of wonder about that a little bit. But for now, I'm going to go with that's how it was parked. All right, so see how it's a lot brighter on this side right here? Now this pole right here, believe it or not, that's the pole that, this pole right here, let me stop it right, boom. That's the pole that Prisma was leaning against and then went out and went that way, okay? Yeah, you never know, Jan. You just never know. And here's the elevator. Now what was weird is when you look at this, you go, well, that doesn't look the same because, let me go to the original right here. You see this button over there and there's these stripes here and you don't see that on the video. But the thing is, we actually figured it out live on a show where it actually all made sense. The camera's just at a different angle than this right here. It's a little bit more to the left. And then back there, you'll see back there in a minute. She doesn't think while she's filming it that's the right floor. But it really is. Okay, now watch. Here we go. Jeez. I guess we can't do it. Now, right there. See, right back there, those are the things that you were seeing. It's just a different angle. And in a minute, I think she'll show those in a second. But
Just checking security.
she was pretty good.
I'm a future resident, so
I'm a future resident. Just checking security. Just making a video. He's probably going, really? I've heard that one. No, but he didn't, though. She was great. She got like a walkthrough tour and everything. So that's basically what she was looking at right there. When she was standing next to that pole in the elevator, she was just kind of looking out at the street like that. Her car would have been right there if she didn't move it. Okay. So there's the elevator, right? That's the pole that the beam, or column, I guess is a better term, that she was leaning against. Pole, beam, column, what's the difference?
there's the video camera that might have shot that video outside the elevator.
Yeah, it could have been.
This is the first floor parking lot.
So when she spun around, she was
Right.
heading out this way.
And
You
go
know?
around to 6 different floors. But she didn't park in the parking garage.
Yeah, it was Southern
She
Gal,
was out
right?
on the street
Yes, good job, Southern Gal.
here on Roseland.
That's right.
So the shot we saw may have been her coming through this gate walking up to the elevator.
But she doesn't
Not
think
being able to
it's
gain
the right
access
one.
because someone has to open it for you.
Right there, boom. Okay. So let me go
Came in
back a
here
little bit.
for you.
Watch. So that's actually what you see, even though it just looks funny. The camera's up higher, so it cuts off the top. But look at everything on this, just really quick. This square sheet right there, the handle, the button, and the blue thing. Okay, now let's go back to the. There's the button, the square sheet of paper, and I don't know if we're going to get to see the rest of it, but just kind of look at this. Here's the button thing, the square thing up there, and then now look at the bottom of this. It lines up with that, and then there's a, sort of a dark spot. Let's see what we're looking at here in the. No, it's a YouTube video. Oh, yeah. So it's right there. You see, it's cut off. The beam cuts it off, so it looks like that. But see, the bottom of that lines up right with that. Then you've got this, and then this right there. So that's exactly the spot. But it looked weird when we were originally comparing. It was like, yeah, that can't be the spot, But it really was. See, it's just cut off right there. That continues on.
Leaning here. I'm sure this is probably not the same floor because there's nothing back there that resembles what's on the video released by the police. But movers are here.
Yeah,
Can't get on the
I think
elevator.
I think he did live. I bet you anything he
to go
lived
up to the
here.
other levels.
As a matter of fact, let's try that.
But it's all
So let's just see what's going on here. Apartments in Dallas. There's gonna be a million of them, but let's just see. All right. So look, that's the only apartment right there. Apparently, I don't know what this is. Maybe they're building one, or what's going on there. It looks similar. It looks like it should be an apartment, or actually, this might be one big facility right here. This whole thing. The Olympus at Ross Luxury Apartments. So these are probably all those. So where would he have lived then? See, the other apartment complexes are all over here, right? And they said he just lived right there. So, it seems really obvious that he lives in these apartments. Now, I might be totally wrong. Okay? So, but I think he does live in those apartments. And I think that's why she was there. I think she was calling to try to get him to let her up or something. And he just didn't want to do it, or I don't know. It's kind of weird. I could see him trying to keep distance, but I could also see him getting really angry because he does have domestic violence. And then after she kept calling or something like that, he came down and something happened. It's so bizarre that nobody saw anything at that time of night. Rush hour, people coming home. There was probably a ton of people out and about, and it's just amazing that nobody saw anything at all.
obvious she was in the parking garage. So I'm going back out now.
See, I think right through this shot, this might be what we're looking for right here. Hold on. Come on, just turn, turn, turn. Oh! Oh, God, hold on. Just a second.
Back out now.
I was so excited. I missed the button. Yeah, so it's almost right. Just a little bit to the right, that island is sticking out from the pole there. But you have to be about 10 feet to the right of this.
This is some of the neighborhood. Again, there's a sign for Roseland. 3800, but her car was located in 3500, which is just a block down to my left.
Yeah, see, I don't think so. I don't know.
More apartment complexes.
It would be nice to have somebody say, "Oh yeah, well, that was just a little clip from surveillance. Her car was, I mean, it obviously is a clip from surveillance, but was that where her car was left? Maybe that was her doing sort of a turn in the road, right? Like she's on the right-hand side, and then she does sort of a U-turn, right? I mean, try to, picture it like this. So let's say this is the little street that she blocked right here. You guys can all see this easily, right? So that's the street that she was crap. I just put myself in the middle of the earth. I know a lot of you would love that, but and this is before I think they took down some buildings, or this was the staging area to build this, because this is from a long time ago. But if you go like this, so this is November 2018. So this is recent. And then if you go back in time, that's September 2017, January, and then this is 2016. So that was like a staging area right there for building. Right there. And that's what it looks like now, basically. So let's just use this one. So her car, you see it right there, but what if she was like this car driving, and then right here she does a U-turn, and then just kind of goes like this and is partially in that one and gets captured on camera, but then eventually she drives further down this. This is 3500, okay? So what if she was right? Well, I mean, look at that. This is where, if you type in 3500 Roseland, the pin goes there, and look how close it is to that spot. So it really could be there, but what if she kept turning and then parked right there? It does sound like, though, the people that found... What is Joshua talking about? You seem like you're just all over the place, man. What does that mean? Man. Yeah, it makes more sense other than the fact that she's really intoxicated, Candy. And it sounds like that is where the car was. The actual person who found the car apparently is the one, they got the surveillance footage. He said that's where the car was parked. So I'm just saying it's possible, since we don't know that much about that particular aspect. However, there is somebody that was on WebSleuths who is the one that provided the picture, who did say that was where the car was parked. So I'm like 80% saying that the car was parked there, but I will leave open the possibility that was just her turning. But when you look at the footage, you got to realize that these cameras shoot really crappy frame rates. Right, that's what he was thinking, maybe. Yeah, John Lorden said that maybe law enforcement got involved so quickly is because her car was parked strangely. So maybe they showed up, and then she's missing. And I don't think there was a 911 call made. I think everybody would know that at this point. Till 12 hours later. Yeah, it doesn't matter when they found it, Candy. The thing is they found that they're saying the car was parked there, right? And the thing is, we have a timestamp on it, and it looks like she's in the car. No, they didn't find it 12 hours later. Wait, are you saying that they found what are you saying? The car may not have ended up in the spot. They did not find until 12 hours later. Okay. But they're saying the person who took the picture, got that still of a surveillance, said that that's where the car was found. Okay. And then the timestamp of that image is 2 minutes and 30 seconds prior to her showing up on surveillance by the elevator. And it looks like she's still sitting in the car there. So I don't know how else to look at it. Yeah, I don't know about that. So you think it's the passenger seat folded down? I mean, why would somebody do that? I don't get it. You know, and the thing is, it's not clear enough to know that's a person, but to me, it looks like a person, right? So when you're looking at this, you know, it's a little smooth right there, so that's why you might think, okay, maybe that's the car seat. But I mean, that's really far forward for a car seat, wouldn't you say? And high. I mean, hell, that's almost up to the roof. I don't know, Candy. Yeah, right. She pushes the seat so far forward that her chest is touching the steering wheel. No, I don't think so. Could be a seat, but I don't think it is at all. I think it doesn't make any sense. But you can say that's a seat, man, 1,000 times, and it's not going to make me go, well, you're right, Joshua. Boy, that sure looks like a car seat. I don't know what it is, okay? It's too far forward. It doesn't matter if it's the driver's seat. That's even worse. That's crazy. It's like, really? It's that far forward? Maybe. You know, I'm not saying that's not possible. All right. Yeah, I mean, my wife's short and has the seat forward too, but not that far. Look how far forward that is. She literally would have her arms sticking out behind her, grabbing the steering wheel. Okay, yeah, I don't agree with you, Joshua. But how about this, Joshua? What you should do is create your own channel and make a video so you can constantly just keep saying the same thing 1,000 times, right? I don't know what that is. I think that could be her. I've never seen a seat that far forward, and she's not like a tiny, skinny little girl either, right? She's not tall, but she's not, you know, so if she was sitting in there, her chest would be basically on the steering wheel on that image you're looking at. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can open that up again. There we go. Yeah. So I mean, it is sort of flat like that. Like there's no. But that doesn't mean that, oh my God, it has to be a seat. You know, it could just be that she was turned a certain way and her hair is down. I mean, if you look at that picture and you look at the, like this, I mean, her hair's like that. Like if she had her head turned, right? Let's say she had her head turned to the right. The hair would be kind of coming down over her shoulder like that. But who the hell knows? You know? I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess what would matter, though, is if she wasn't in the car. So for all of you who are out there saying that that isn't her in the car, then that means the car really is parked right there. Okay? For those of you who say that is her, then I guess it's possible she was just turning. Right. How quickly did somebody look into the car, Joshua? You got all this all figured out? Like, when did somebody finally look into the car? Right. Don't say that too loud, Molotov. Somebody will say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. That's got to be a chair. Yeah, it could be. You know, I'm not saying it's not a chair. I'm just saying it doesn't look like it to me because it's too far forward. Well, that's what's nefarious about it. Somebody in the back seat slid it way up towards the front. Yeah, it could be either one. Let's put it that way. Right, it doesn't matter. All we know is that the car was parked there. Perhaps. See, it's like, I'm like 90% sure the car was parked there because the person who got that surveillance footage shot said that that's where the car was parked. Right? And then when I put this image in that I made, this one, that shows where the car was parked, I put that on WebSleuths. Somebody said, oh yeah, somebody else already verified that the car was parked right there. And that's the person who put the image in there. And I said, well, I verified it for myself, okay? Because that's what I got to do. So I don't know what that is. Let's look at this. It kind of looks like it's at an angle slightly. Like if we were back to the right of this and then slightly turned, that's what you'd be looking at. Although, I mean, the camera that took the shot's way back and to the left slightly. This car, though, I think is actually in at a little bit more of an angle like that. And then we don't get to see all the green down there because it's blocked by her tinted windows there, the sidewalk. And I guess I can't see what's right there, but yeah, we predict based on facts. That's right. That's right. But you're stating things as fact. Everything you keep saying. So if you're predicting, say, well, I think this, I think that. Well, maybe it's this, instead of, no, that's a chair, that's a car seat. Like, as if you actually can tell. It's like the Kanika Jenkins video people. Like every single thing, oh, I can see this, I can see that. Well, you can't because it doesn't exist. And it's too grainy to know. All I'm saying is based on where the chair is that I think that is maybe her, but it could also be a chair. It looks strange to me.
July 31st. Check out Gray. Live chat.
Oh, that's right. We're doing another 3 Minute of Mystery on July 31st, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it does look sort of like a street that's not really... Let's go down it. We can go actually down that street on this. Believe it or not, some Google Earth guy said, hey, I'm going to go down this one, where he won't go down some main highways in other towns. So it looks like look. So these people here, they probably go out this way most of the time. And they might have looked that way, and then they would just turn around and go back out. Might not have said anything at all. But yeah, that would piss you off, right? Like you're driving here and you're honking for 6 hours. See, look how weird this is. This is July 2018. That's April 2019, 7 months later. It's weird how they stitch stuff together like that. It kind of, it's really bizarre. Watch how much it changes just going like this. Watch. So this is April 2019 on this one. Here's what's amazing is the only square that I can find right here that's April 2019 is the one right in front of the parking garage. The only one that we'd really need to have. Don't you find that strange? Because I'm going to go one square this way. I think it's these two, right? So it's this one, and then if you go one more, now we're in March 2019. Now we're on December 2018. I mean, look at the clouds. Everything's different, right? And then December 2018, and that's what you got. And this is March 2019. So they kind of just stitched it all together. I guess so, Joshua. Boy, really insightful stuff you got going on. Wow.
It's the Josh channel, lol.
You see a brake light on? See a brake light on the Jeep? Yeah. Oh, right there? Huh, that's interesting. Well, because she's, then that would mean that she's still in the car, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be great if that really was a brake light? Then poor old Joshua would have to eat the crow that's flying around his head right now. Yes. See that? She's just pulling in to stop. Right now, she's reaching over, kind of bending over to the passenger seat, picking up her phone and the other stuff she had in her hands. Doesn't that make a little more sense? Hey, it's Southern Gal, the videographer. That does appear to be a brake light. That's interesting. What do you think about that, Josh? Well, given the sun's refractive angle at that time of day, perhaps the sun was hitting the... Yeah. I think the tides are shifting on that one there for you, good old Joshua. Yee-hoo! The brake lights are on. Wish I had caught that, but I didn't. So thank you for catching that. Yeah, it looks kind of dim and gray out. I guess good old Joshua has some splaining to do. See, here's the thing about someone like Joshua is once he's proven wrong, he still goes with what he originally said because he can't change it. His ego's too large to say, oh, wow, geez, okay, that's true. The brake lights are on. That means she's in the car. So he's going to keep saying it over and over again. Oh, that's a seat, that's a seat, that's a seat, that's a seat, that's a seat. Over and over again. It hasn't been time enough to change it. That made no sense. Wow. Yes, I'm so mean. Anyways, I thought that was really interesting stuff by Winter63. We've got the ex-boyfriend who has had domestic violence charges filed against him, and she met him. For those of you who showed up late here, I'm going to go back to Google Earth. She actually met the ex-boyfriend for lunch at the E-Bar Tex-Mex that's 0.36 miles away from the apartment complex. And while there, she got in some sort of an argument where the police were called in. And then the mother took a picture of the ex named Ryan, but I guess he went by Matt at the bar and wore sunglasses. It's almost like he met her there intentionally to do something. You know, you sort of wonder, like, was she going to re-up the domestic violence charges on him? See, this kind of reminds me a little bit of that case out of, you remember that one case? God, what was it? I think it was that, I can't remember. It was that black girl in Virginia. She was seen leaving her house on the Ring doorbell, and then her ex-boyfriend that she was filing domestic violence charges against ended up killing her. Do you remember that? I don't remember the name of the case. It was so long ago. Wait, no, Jolie or something like that? Yeah. Yeah, Jolie Musa, right? Wasn't that the case? Yeah, wow, I can't believe it. I actually pulled a name out from the past. I am horrible at that. Yeah, so it's Jolie Musa. Remember that? She was on the Ring Door camera. Her sister said she got a call and was frantic about it, and then left, and then somebody saw her on a corner, and then she went to a park, and then a kid actually called her. A kid's phone called her phone, but it was actually an adult asked to borrow the kid's phone, and then she showed up at the park, and then she was killed at the park. And then they didn't find her the first go around. Then they found her the second time they went there. Yeah. So that's weird. So think of it like that. Like she meets up with this guy that has charges against him for domestic violence, and then she dropped him. But maybe she was going to bring him up again, which is exactly that same scenario. And he's just like, forget this. So he sort of coaxes her into meeting her and even tries to get her to not do that. But he has got another plan as well. And so maybe he drugs her. But then where is he, though? See, that's the thing, is where is he then? Why is she driving alone? He sort of let her go. I mean, there's some weird stuff going on here. Why would she meet up with an ex that was violent like that? And then the police get called to the bar, and I don't know how that got resolved. Like, did the guy leave and she stayed there for a few more hours? And then she drives over to his apartment, parks the car sort of haphazardly like that, gets out of the car, gets into that side door because it was propped open, and then starts calling around. You know, it sounds like she called her boyfriend a bunch of times, and at 6 o'clock talked to somebody. Well, what's weird is she says the 6 o'clock call lasted 3 minutes, and then there was a 6:01 call. How does that work? So how does the 6 o'clock call last for 3 minutes, and then there's a 6:01 call? So maybe that's when the call ended, okay? Maybe that's kind of what she's thinking. So maybe the call started at 6:57 and went to 6. Then there was a 1 minute call right after that ended at 6:01. Yeah, I'm just pointing out all the little things that you got to tighten up a little bit. Yeah, I know. I hate shit like that. But she called the boyfriend 4 times after you see her spin out on the surveillance footage. Right? So you're looking at this, and let me hit play here. Yeah. So we don't know who she's actually talking to here. She does seem like she's listening to somebody. Or it could be that she was waiting for the... No, because she pauses. Sounds like she's actually having a conversation. I was thinking maybe she left a message or something. But... Right. So this is 5:50, and then we know at like 5:57 she spoke for 3 minutes saying she's confused, but after she made this turn, she's out and about for another 10 minutes. Like, where was she during that time? And she's not heading back to her car. Right now, her face would point right at her car if she was looking outside. If that's where her car was parked. Okay, I keep having to put the ifs in there. And then, instead of that, she curls around to the left. So if we go back to, was it Summer Gal? Summer Gal. Southern Gal. God, that one, it doesn't pop right into my head. Southern Gal, right? Her video. Let's go back inside the parking garage. Okay, this is right when she's walking. So this pole right there, that, I said pole again. This column right there is the column she's leaning against. Like if I put a 3D character, I'd have her right there with her back against that wall right there, and then she spins out and goes that way. You'd think if she was about to leave at that point, she would have just walked right past the camera again, right? No, we don't have any of that information. So she was like heading out into the middle over there. I mean, it could have just been she's buzzed, does a little pirouette around the column and then heads back the other direction again. I don't know. Hey, I could use some big words. They just don't pop into my head while I'm speaking. It's only when I use a fake voice. They just somehow... They're there. They just can't be pulled out by my natural self.
Checking security.
Just checking security.
I'm a future resident, so I'm just... It's a video.
I pull out a few zingers here and there, though, Tammy. Yeah, give me some credit. I don't know. So right there, that's where she headed. Right there. Boom. That's the direction she was headed when she turned around the column. I said column that time. All right.
There's the video camera that might have shot that video outside the elevator.
Yeah, maybe. Could have been aliens, too. We just don't know.
This is the first floor parking lot. And you drive in and go around to 6 different floors. But she didn't park in the parking garage. She was out on the street.
Yeah, but 3 articles
You're
said
on Roseland.
she did park in the parking garage, but I think those are wrong.
So, the shot we saw.
Oh, that's
may
the
have
perfect
been
shot. There it is. Oh, look at
her.
that. See, that's the exact shot that Jeep... It's just about a foot to the right of that is this shot right here. Yeah. Yeah, just about a little bit to the... Actually, to the left of that. See how there's that much of the island showing behind the pole there? She almost has it right there. I think it's right there. So just move just to the left, and I think right above her head is a surveillance camera. That's the first one she pointed out when she came in. And I think that might be the one that filmed it.
Walking up to the elevator. Not being able to gain access because someone has to open it for you. Leaning here.
No, cases get brought all the time without bodies.
I'm sure this is
Circumstantial evidence can absolutely tell a story, you know.
Because there's nothing back there that resembles what's on the video released by the police.
I mean, yeah, they're harder, sure, but it's not unusual whatsoever.
To go up to the other levels. But it's obvious she was in the parking garage. So I'm going back out now.
Or I'm going to go back when you first went in. I think you point out the camera, don't you? Oh, right there. Thanks, and the schnoz. I don't remember when you pointed up at that. No, right here, right there. Oh, missed it. Yeah, I could have left in a trunk, an alien space shop. Who knows?
Welcome new subscribers. We love you guys.
We sure do. Did we get any new subscribers? I usually lose subscribers when I do my show. I don't know if it's some weird
There's the video
that the
camera.
show sucked, or was it that the
Got that video outside the elevator.
what's that going on the screen right there? Wow.
This is the first floor parking lot.
Oh wait, I think I just
And you
missed it.
drive in.
You just did it right.
Lot that might have
There you
shot
go.
that video.
See, that's the perfect location right there. That camera is absolutely perfect to have got that shot.
Go outside the elevator.
I think. Maybe there's one more to the left over here.
This is the first floor parking.
Because that seemed to be more the exit.
And you drive in and go around.
So that's a camera too, right?
6 different floors. But
See, that camera
she
easily
didn't park
would.
in the parking garage.
If that's a camera, that would have
She
picked
was
her
out
up.
on the street
I don't think that might not be one though.
here on Roseland.
Thanks, Loretta.
So the shot we saw.
So how many likes do we got out there, by the way, everybody? $145. How many people are watching? I haven't been able to look. Oh, 277. Oh yeah, we need more likes than that, everybody. Wow. Gonna have to hit a pause here really quick until we get that like up. Doesn't take a lot of effort to hit that like button. I say when we get to 175, maybe even 200. All right. And to get that rolling, guess what we need? This is what. Hey, it's Claudia Neubauer. Thank you very much. There's always a few of you that are so kind all the time. I really appreciate it. Here we go.
I'm fired out of midnight, 10 down, 15 down, 10 down, 15 down.
Grateful for Grey Huazzy smiling face with heart eyes. Starstruck smiling face with heart eyes.
Grateful for Gay Husey. Here we go. Hit the like button, 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 hit the like, keep the like button, hit the like.
25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Well, good night, Southern Gal, and thank you for some really interesting video. I mean, the main part that helps figure the stuff out is in the parking garage, but without your video, we wouldn't actually have sort of a sense of how it looks down there. Okay, it's right there. Right when you go through the door, about 15 feet later, you're at the pillar that she is leaning against. Hey, pillar. I like that one. That's a little higher level word, right? Pillar.
May have been her coming through this gate walking up to the elevator, not being able to gain access because someone has to open it for you. Leaning here.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is probably
I think you
not
should go back there again, Southern
same
Gal,
floor.
now that we know that that's the spot.
because there's
And then film all the different and pretend, you know what? I wasn't sure if I wanted to rent the spot, but I'm here again. I'm trying to see what the security's like again. You think that would work? I don't know. They might not buy it the second time around. Like, I don't think that guy would take you on another tour using that. It just doesn't seem like that would work. Yeah, no problem, Sam Mishnoz. Got to get this, some of these lesser known cases out there. It's kind of strange. Like, some of these ones are the ones that are so interesting. Because there's nothing. It's like sometimes people just vanish in the thin air. But now we have some information, right? That she was actually meeting with the ex at the bar.
Thank you for helping victims and families.
What was the other case that we just did that just completely vanished? I can't remember it now. But the one that we're covering out of Oregon is pretty good. Is there any new information on that one today? Well, I think I've covered just about everything I wanted to cover on the Prisma Reyes case. We got all that new information. Hey, thanks, Wicked Gaming. That's right, I'm so mean. And for those of you who've never seen the So Mean jail cell, there it is. Okay. Even have the shadow from the bars. Isn't that cool? Donna V really wanted that purple sable eye creature. Oh, did we say something about
I really
that?
wanted the purple sable eye creature. Love you guys. Smiling face with
Oh.
heart eyes.
Wait, did I screw that up? Oh, you can't see it on the window that I'm on. Oh, darn it. Well, here's the purple-eyed creature that you got too, but it was on the wrong window. So sorry about that. Oh, look at that. Mag gave me the skeleton key. Unbelievable.
What case were you suggesting? At end of 3 men.
When you say at the end of 3 men... Hey, Wicked Gaming. Sorry that it didn't pop up on yours. I had the wrong screen on there. But you got to see the purple guy right after that, even though it was a different one. When you say at the end of 3 men, were we actually talking about on the show what... I don't know what your question is. I've suggested doing Rachel Del Tondo, but it's actually more valuable, I think, when you take a cold case that's been cold a long time and then you really go over it and bring life back to something that seemed to not be being discussed. It was just weird in the case that we chose for it didn't look like Mag's skeleton key read it off, but it says, "Thank you, Gray and Freak family, for being you. And your skeleton key." So thank you. Yeah. Well, you should check it out. I've made a bunch of videos on Rachel Del Tondo. And 48 Hours, I think it was, did a special. And they left out a bunch of the crucial information. So I know my shows are long, but if you ever get bored, go back and watch some of those. We actually create a flow chart because it's really complicated stuff. I mean, it's like, it just keeps getting more and more complicated, actually. Every time you turn around, there's something else. Thanks, Kyra. Thanks, Susan. Yeah. So I do have one thing from the Karissa Fretwell case that maybe we could just go over right at the end here. If I can find it. You know, it was actually a press conference. Remember that really cool DA that was in that one? I don't remember the name of the case, but the case where the mother was flung out of her own mother's vehicle after a wedding, and then the mother sort of hid the fact that their daughter got accidentally flung out the back of the car. You guys remember that case? And then you remember the cool district attorney that was on there? He was just really sharp, answering all the questions, and he's the one that I put in there because that one person asked the crazy question about, so how do you know it was her body or something? And he goes, because she was in the car. It was hilarious. But he's the same guy. But I don't know where I can't find it right now. It was on my desktop and now it's not there anymore. Does anybody have a link to that? I could play it. Let me try this. Oh, that might be it right there. And yes, it was. What a miracle that was. First attempt. Right, so here is that guy. He has an unfortunate starting pose face, though. look at the face he's making there. That just happens to be the very beginning of it, but that happened.
The evidence that has been gathered is all leading to...
You guys remember this guy, though, right? He's awesome.
And I know you said you don't want to get into the weeds, but particularly how he was found in Portland outside the donut shop. Can you explain the trail from
at the donut shop
to there?
Let me turn up the audio.
I don't know how he got from one to the other. I know that there were a lot of investigative techniques were being utilized by the various agencies who were aiding in this investigation that ultimately led them to that location and ultimately led to it.
So with everything that was outlined so far in the possible cause, cell phone records, surveillance video, can you say if there has been any physical evidence found?
This guy needs to work out his phone issues.
Does it relate to the white trash bag and backpack?
There we go.
There is a lot of other evidence and other information that investigators have put together which aid in the conclusion here that we believe that they've been killed. We didn't, obviously not all of that's going to be...
So they believe that they've both been killed.
Was there anyone else involved in this, perhaps his wife?
I can't answer that question this time.
That's interesting, right?
There is physical evidence.
I think the wife does have something to do with it.
The victims in this case.
There is a lot of other evidence that leads to the conclusion that they have been murdered.
Are there any body parts that you guys have found?
Body part, like he's going to answer that. Yes, well, we found a toe and a... He should have came back with something dumb. I can't tell you anything. But have you found any body parts, sir? He goes right for the jugular on that one.
And I'm aware of other areas that were brought to the attention of investigators yesterday or this morning even, where they will be doing some additional.
Is it all in Yamhill County?
That's getting into the details, and I'm not.
Do you know what was in the white plastic bag that was addressed?
Yes, the gun and bloody clothing.
One thing that's not explained in the affidavit is why the fields in Yamhill County was being searched. Is that related
Yeah, this is the Karissa Fretwell press conference. I was just doing it at the end since it's new.
To the areas in Yamhill County that have been searched were searched based on information that led investigators to concentrate in that area. Do they know an exact area? No, this would be over if it was. But led them to that area.
Are they still searching there, that field?
They are still searching in that area and other areas.
Have you received any tips from the public that have been instrumental in those searches? And is there anything you're still asking for the public's help with?
Well, obviously, anybody who has any information about this, we're asking that they contact us. The contact is still the Salem Police Department on that, so we want them to reach out, even if they think something is inconsequential. It's better for that information to come to see whether it is or is not important, but get us that information. To answer your other question, yes, we have had tips. Whether or not it's instrumental for them to go to a particular place.
He could have had as much as 3 hours.
Just to reiterate, I know you clarified it for them, but his shift is overnight at Cascade Steel, correct?
It is.
Undetected.
Apparently in the PC.
3.5.
6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m.
So the coming and going was bizarre, but the hours were not.
I'm not sure of that question.
He left on the golf cart, went away for a little while.
See, that's what he
came back.
sounded like.
But those hours of the morning are not necessarily obscure because that's his typical shift.
Oh, and by the way, you remember when I said I think they've got a typo on the time? Because they said his shift was 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in that affidavit. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense because at 8 he left and then he came back. And why would he do that? That would be so obvious. Okay, and then I think he clarifies it here a lot.
His typical shift.
And the security guard is cited in the probable cause affidavit as saying that's not like typical normal behavior. Were there other people that corroborated that, supervisors or other coworkers that would say that behavior was not normal for a work shift?
I haven't read the security person's statement. I'm familiar with it, but I'm really hesitant to comment whether that is or isn't accurate. The behaviors that are there are leaving work in the middle of a shift.
Whoa, what's going on with that pinky right there? What's going on with
Was
that?
he actually scheduled to work at that time?
Are they holding a phone up? Oh, I know what they're doing.
That night, yes.
Wow.
The judge talked about reviewing search warrants and talked about complexities of this case. Can
Holy
you shed light on
crap.
what those complexities are?
With this
Wait, hold on. You guys see that? Look at that.
In the middle of a shift, and then returning several hours.
I think they're holding a phone
scheduled to
with
work
their
at that
index and
time?
thumb, so it's
You
doing
know?
that.
He was scheduled to work that night. Yes.
The judge talked about reviewing search warrants and talked about the complexities of this case. Can you shed light on what those complexities are?
Well, this case has had a large number of investigators working on it from various agencies. So from the Salem Police Department, Yamhill County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, Search and Rescue. Many people have been involved in this investigation, and really trying to leave no stone unturned. And when you do that, you gather a lot of information. Some is more important to the investigation than others. But literally, that stuff is still being compiled. I'll just share it because it matters not. I don't even have one page of reports in this case yet. That's how they have been doing nothing but working, tracking down leads, looking to see where they should.
Hey, by the way, thanks everybody for adding to the fund for Prisma Reyes.
The complexity of the case and getting additional time to present it to a grand jury is that he's familiar with the complexity, having reviewed and authorized search warrants.
So now will the grand jury hear the case before the June 7th date?
That's our plan.
So the text that was sent on May 14th, how do you guys know that she sent that text, that Karissa Fretwell sent it, and who did she send it to?
That's getting into some details I don't want to get into.
That sucks. Some states give that stuff out.
Yeah, the next thing that will happen, while the investigation's continuing, I would anticipate that we will continue to have regular internal briefings between the agencies to...
Oh, see, there's the pinky. That's what I thought she was doing. See that? Deductive reasoning.
Be preparing for the appropriate witnesses to testify before the grand jury. The grand jury then will review the evidence, and if they deem appropriate, will authorize or issue an indictment.
Is there any way you can just, I know this might be a tall order because it is a very complex PC affidavit, but is there any way you can kind of summarize some of what is said here so far that you can say?
No.
Okay.
This guy's, you gotta love this guy though, come on.
Sit and study the PC affidavit.
So that I don't say something that you shouldn't know.
I know what's in it, but I also know a lot of other things related to the investigation. And I don't want to jeopardize
This
in
guy's
the
awesome.
slightest way this investigation by having something out there that then complicates our case, complicates the investigation,
And it just happens when things are made public. Sometimes it happens. If nothing else, it's people can call with tips based on something they heard in the news or whatever, and then it lessens the value of tips and the value of information when information.
So that was interesting right there, right?
Well, someone playing devil's advocate could look at this and say, well, their cell phones were together for much of this time, but does that mean they were together? Is there other evidence that says they were actually together and not just their cell phones?
I can't get there. Sorry.
Okay.
Brad, can you just talk about, I mean, you've got a young mom, you've got a 3-year-old boy, and I mean, in their family.
Oh, cool, Wicked
I can't
Gaming.
imagine what they're going through right now. Can you speak to just, how tough this is for them?
Well, let me go, if I can, a little different direction. So for today, with the evidence pointing the way, the windmill's pointing the direction we believe it's pointing.
Happy birthday.
Who is really hard on, I will tell you, were the 5 people who we had sitting in these chairs this morning, family members, who we had to share some information with, share why we think this case is the direction it is, that we believe it's a homicide case and not a kidnap, not just a missing person case. That's who it's really tough on. So, to sit and answer questions for the family, to see how emotionally raw they are, that's the really tough part. They're the ones who've suffered the greatest loss here. Obviously, it's certainly tragic, the loss of a young woman and her small child. That's horribly tragic. But looking at the faces of the family wanting answers to questions that we don't have the answers yet, that's the really hard part.
The probable cause affidavit.
This is the Karissa Fretwell case at the end. I'm just, crap. Yeah, this is the Karissa Fretwell district attorney. We just spent like 2 hours going over the Prisma Reyes, and then I just figured, okay, at the end, I'll play this clip from another case because we are all interested in that. We've been following that for a week now or so. Okay? But just, kind of try to sort of figure out, like go up and read comments and so forth instead of stopping the whole show. All right.
Has there been any motive that's been determined that you guys can take into consideration in prosecution?
Oh, I think there are suggested motives that have come out. I would, again, this might not be details. I'd hesitate to say.
Happy birthday to you.
Not have to prove is motive. That's not an element of the offense. It may help to explain conduct. When a jury is ultimately looking at a case, they have the same query that we do. Why would you do this? Why would somebody do this? And that gets into motive. So having motive aids in making sense of a horrible crime. It doesn't change what we actually have to prove.
And he hasn't talked.
I'm not
yeah, jurors like motives, but motives aren't even needed. Like serial killers don't really have a motive, right? A reasonable motive. They just like it. Well, that's the motive, Gray.
Since we don't have the victim's body, is being built on an ever-growing mountain of circumstantial evidence.
And conviction can follow.
Absolutely.
Obviously, every crime is different, but is it unusual to proceed to this point with only the circumstantial evidence?
I don't know if it's unusual or not. There are cases, anybody who's been a trial lawyer in the criminal realm.
That's cool, Mo. Well, at least you know now, right?
We've all tried cases that were circumstantial cases. They can be very compelling cases, and that's why juries will convict on circumstantial cases.
What does that mean? Mo Piesel? More people?
Circumstantial evidence. Well, at some point you have so much evidence that you can't explain it away.
Anyway, somewhere in here, he actually says that was a typo on the affidavit about the time, and that he works from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And you see how we were just able to say that it's a typo and move on. I think what we learned from the Molly Tibbetts case is if you get too stuck on something like a red herring type thing, it can just ruin everything. And so when you sit there and you go, wow, Jesus, he worked from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then he actually went back to the office at 8 something. He wasn't even working. And then he drove a cart, and then he left, and then he went back again. And then you see, that doesn't make any sense, right? But it did make sense when we said, well, that's a typo. Hey, thanks, Nisi. Appreciate it. And so then we said, listen, that's probably a typo.
Please keep the good work coming.
Hey, I'll give it a shot. And so we said, I think it's actually 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. because then everything fits in that window. It didn't fit in the other window at all. As a matter of fact, none of it did. And that's actually what made me think that that must be a typo. And turns out that's exactly what it was. And then we just moved on without even thinking that it wasn't. So he did say in here somewhere that that was a typo. I don't know if I was rambling on during the time he said it or not, but I heard it earlier.
Way as, you know, just word I want that's not coming to me, but you can't just explain it away. There's just too much there. And this case is continuing to build.
In the
Right.
case, there's 2 victims,
Circumstantial.
from what I understand, but I saw 3 aggravated murder charges. Why is that?
So the difference between murder and aggravated murder is relatively simple in its elements. It's the intentional taking of another human life. In our statutes, aggravated murder is the intentional taking of another human life plus an aggravating factor.
Right.
And you can have more than one aggravating factor that fits, but since it's a unique element of the charge, they have to be charged separately. So if you look at the charging instrument, you'll see there's 1 count of aggravated murder related to Karissa, and there are 2 related to Billy. The 2 with Billy are 1 alleging he was killed as part of a criminal episode that took more than 1 life. The other aggravating factor that he's a victim under 14 years of age.
This guy is so great at explaining stuff. He's awesome.
The aggravated murder count related to Karissa.
Hopefully you guys heard that part right there.
So June 7th is the indictment.
He explained
June 7th would be the date he
aggravating factors.
On the indictment. The grand jury will review the case and issue the indictment, assuming they feel there's enough evidence, issue the indictment before the 7th of June.
And you would expect him to enter a plea at that point?
No, not necessarily. What Mr. Spinney was
Why can't you guys hear?
Some counties enter pleas right away.
Jesus,
Typically,
it's loud.
we would have
Turn up your volume.
Pre-trial conference, a status conference periodically as information is being given over to the defense, as investigations being.
How about now? That's even louder.
Investigation of ours, we'll be exchanging what we refer to as discovery. That's all the police reports and all the information. So that could go on. These cases, the more complex they are, the longer it takes to review the cases, and the longer I would expect before there would actually be a plea entered, which then would set trial dates and the like.
Because he's an idiot.
The judge today did make mention of some of these charges carrying the weight of the death penalty.
There's a lot of dumb criminals out there.
Is it too early to say if any kind of deal would be on the table?
It's very early.
Basically, here's the deal. Your cell phone is not your friend if you're a murderer, okay? So the fact that these people are so connected to their cell phones now, they just don't really think about that shit. All right? I'm not trying to give advice to anybody out there that has those leanings. I'm just saying, my God, really? Some of these people are just...
Any other questions?
So busy year and a half for you.
It's been we've been pretty busy. Yeah, we have more people sitting currently charged with murder than this is my 23rd year, than we've ever had at the same time.
Isn't that crazy? Look at all the murders that are going on right. It's nuts.
Have you received any tips from the public that have been instrumental in those searches? And is there anything you're still asking for the public's help with?
Well, obviously, anybody who has any information about this, we're asking that they contact. I think the contact is still the Salem Police Department on that, so we want them to reach out, even if they think something is inconsequential. It's better.
I'm just rewound it a little bit.
Come to see whether it is or is not important, but get us that information.
See, a lot of people, they ask those questions. Like, remember that one guy that was always on here? Remember the suitcase case? The girl that was at the bar, and then the guy took him back to her apartment and then stuffed her in a suitcase and then was caught driving down the road. I can't remember his name right now. It's not popping into my head. But there was a guy that would always come in here and say, hey, you know, how could he make those mistakes if he was... Because people are idiots, okay? There's a lot of really dumb people out there. Even ones that work for Raytheon, okay? They don't have street smarts. They don't really get things. But I think that guy was a serial killer in that case. All right? Lewis Coleman. I think that guy was a budding serial killer or something. He actually, the license plate that they found on his car, he had stolen a year prior. Why would he need that? Why would he have that a year prior? Wouldn't he have just stole it after he killed her? And if he was some random guy? No, he went out to kill. That's the whole deal there. He had it all figured out. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, remember that? Wow. That was unbelievable. So a lot of times people go, why would he do that? What they're really saying is it's some sort of a psyops because that person's so dumb that it had to be intentionally stupid.
Yes, we have had tips.
Hey, and on that note, I get a subscriber. Yes, you agree, don't you? Thank you, EF5. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. Anyways, I know he does say that in here somewhere that was a typo. I just didn't hear it the second time around. So, I am going to end the show. Where are we going to do the flyby tonight? Anybody new in here? Who was the... anybody new in here that wants a cool place, preferably not a city, but some kind of landmark somewhere that you want to do a flyby? Nah, I'm not doing Mount Everest. Okay. Grand Canyon's always cool. The Black Forest. Isn't that in Germany or something? Let's see what that looks like. Well, who's new in here? Okay, you're new. Where do you want to do a flyby? The one that said, I am... Yeah, LaFord girl. Where do you want to fly by? That's the Black Forest. Thanks, Nisi. Doom 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 doom. So I guess EF5, you're not putting in not EF5.
I always look forward to your feeds.
Oh man, I must be so loud. I forgot to turn down there's the regular sound. I was 12 decibels too high. All right, but before I go, I'm going to say thanks to everybody who did Super Chat. Sam the Schnoz, Bush and Beach, Bush and Beach Lifestyle, Cairo Al Kadir, I think. And then Sam the Schnoz, Miss Mola, Sam the Schnoz, Joshua with his little, I'm the Joshua channel. And Sam Schnoz again, Claudia Neubauer. Sam Schnoz again, Wicked Gaming, Donna V, Cairo Al Kadir again, and Mag. And she said, thank you, Gray and Freak Family, for being you. Thank you. Cairo again, and then Nisi twice, and Raquel Bedgood Corley. Yeah, Corley, that's right. Raquel Bedgood Corley. And then I guess, that just came in as I was
I can always
looking.
count on Gray's channel to keep me updated and entertained.
Awesome. Boom. Yeah, bush and beef lifestyle. Oh boy, that was good stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a new website called Bush and Beef Lifestyle, where you head out to the bush and you only eat beef. You hunt cow. It's incredible. It's a new thing. Yes, that's right. Well, where the hell are we doing the flyby? I'm going to do Grand Canyon, okay? That's the old standby. None of the newbies would let me, it would put in a place. Let me try like over here somewhere. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is some cool stuff. Hey, wow. Thanks, Nisi. Didn't you like how I added to it? Boom! Wow, I love having all of you guys here. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes, it's weird when I don't come on. I always miss coming on. But sometimes I need to do something else. Like a break, Let's see. All right. I'll start over. It's almost like a drone. A Mavic 2, perhaps. Hey, thanks Donna White and Sam the Schnoz. Hey, and look at that. That's nebulae. It's an incredible nebulae which has 20 billion planets in it, all of which support life. It's just 30 trillion light years away, and we'll never get to see those creatures. All right, everybody. Hey, listen. Thank you all for showing up tonight. That was a good show. We got a lot figured out on the, or at least a lot more information, putting together the pieces in the Prisma Reyes case. All right, it's more complicated. We've got a strange babysitter who doesn't want to be involved anymore, even though she talked to Prisma for an hour. We also have a baby daddy. A baby daddy who had nothing to do at all with the child until one day Prisma goes missing and all of a sudden he's super dad. And then we have an ex-boyfriend who was very abusive, domestic violence charges. Okay? So you have all three of those now. So it's more complicated and yet more interesting at the same time. Okay? But I think it has to be related to something regarding one of those three people, in my opinion. If it's not, it's one of those weird things that you just can't explain. Sort of like the case recently with the baby that was cut out of the mom. I mean, that's one of those things like, you don't even want to go there in a guess. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Anyways, all right, everybody. I appreciate you showing up and supporting my channel however you can. It really helps me. Helps me actually purchase, like my new computer that I got a while back was through you guys. The drone that I'm starting to get better at. I flew it around today again. As a matter of fact, it's kind of cool. What I was doing today is it's amazing what you can do with this damn thing. When you walk around, let's say you're standing still, the drone will circle you but keep you in the center. But what's amazing is you can run as fast as you can and the drone will still keep doing perfect circles around you as you run. It's insane. And keeping the same distance from you. So it's like, it's got some of the coolest features ever. I mean, like total movie shots, So maybe one of these days I'll get to take it out to one of these places where a crime occurred in Oregon, like I tried to do the other day, but I didn't hit the play button, or record, I mean. It was like, wow, you went all the way out there and you didn't hit the record button. What an idiot. Okay? So at times I can be one of those dumb people too that exists in society, and but I had good intentions. What was cool is I had the GoPro on my head and I filmed the drone up in the air, but it just had no drone footage on it. So anyways, everybody, I really appreciate you all coming here and just hanging out, supporting the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want to unsubscribe, do that too. Anything helps. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Until next time, be safe out there.